What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cross-Platform Podcast. If you don't remember, we are just a few guys gathered around a computer monitor talking about the week that was and Walking Dead, now that it's back. I am that one Heath. With me is Gordy Mills.
Hey.
Mike on Skype.
How's it going?
And it's been a little while since we sat down and had a little chit chat, and I apologize for that. We were talking about it before we started recording, and we don't really know why that happened.
We took a week off.
Yeah, we took a week off that turned into 2 months. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Hail Trump, I guess, if that's the way you lean. A lot's happened.
A lot has happened.
But yeah, I don't know why. I think what threw us off is because the Westworld and Walking Dead didn't have
all right, that's it.
Didn't have the finales on the same day, and we were like, screw it.
Yeah.
But
Walking Dead ended and came back.
Right. So yeah, do you guys want to just kind of, did anything exciting happen over the 2-month break that you deem necessary to discuss?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I got some new tools, and I don't know. I'm actually setting up this shop, and I'm actually starting to make stuff.
We're actually gonna try to turn this spare bedroom into an office.
Yep, I'm building a desk for the bedroom. It's an office.
Yeah, it'll go right over here, even though this is an audio.
Yeah,
this is terrible audio.
Everybody
right
look
now.
over here.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Christmas, I guess, was a lot of fun. I got a PlayStation VR for Christmas because I'm a spoiled child of my parents.
Did you get 2?
No. What? Oh, no. Yeah, my parents are divorced. No, I did not get 2.
No, you got like 2 capture cards.
That's true, but I asked I bought 1 capture card and I asked for a second one.
Right. Okay.
I forget why I asked for 2, but I have 2 Elgato capture cards.
I mean, I don't know. I was just wondering if maybe you ended up with 2 PlayStation VRs.
As a child of divorce, I've become a skilled Christmas negotiator. I write out 2.
Yep.
And this may be weird for some of you. I'm a 33-year-old man, and I still write Christmas lists to my parents because my parents will not let Christmas die. I think my mother would die of a heart attack if we didn't have Christmas at her house.
Once you have kids, Christmas sort of transfers onto them.
Right, and I've noticed that because now we have grandbabies.
Right.
And it is all about the grandbabies now. Not my grandbabies. I am no children for me.
The parents are no longer asking you for your Christmas list. They're asking you for your kids' Christmas list.
That's the thing. Well, yeah, since I don't have kids, that may be the case. But that's the thing. My parents are still real adamant. It's like, you need to get us your Christmas list before Thanksgiving so we can do Black Friday. I'm like, I'm 33 years old. Just give me money. Just give me cash if you want to give me anything.
I'll do my own Black Friday shopping.
My mom loves the whole Christmas. I think her Christmas tree is still up just because my brother left, because it's usually my brother and I who take the Christmas tree down because it's fucking huge. And it's usually him and I that break it down and take it into the basement because my brother is in the Marines in North Carolina, and he had to leave very quickly after Christmas happened. We didn't have time to take it down, so I'm pretty sure it's still all set up in our living room. So my brother comes home in a couple of days, or like 4 or 5 days, and so
I used to have a holiday tree. It just stayed up all year round.
Yeah, it's just easier that way.
We decorated it for the different holidays.
Yeah, and hearts on it for Valentine's Day.
I mean, it wasn't a pine tree; it was a ficus. So like
a cactus in the corner.
No, it wasn't cactus; it was a ficus.
Yeah, but no, PlayStation VR is great. I've only, Mike, I know you have. Do you still have your Oculus?
Yeah, it's sitting on the desk next to me.
Yeah, how much have you been using it?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah. So PlayStation VR, because I was able to come over and mess around with the Oculus for a little bit, and it was comfortable, and I was surprised how well it fit. And I wear glasses, so I was surprised how well it fit over my glasses. I will say I think the PlayStation VR is more comfortable and a little more user friendly. I'm getting it set up because I know we had to like calibrate and do that stuff, because all it's using is basically the PlayStation Eye camera. And it's got a light bar on the front and on the kind of the sides, and there's a light bar in the back. And just like on the back of your controller, the PlayStation 4 controller, there was a
Yeah.
light bar.
Yep.
So it kind of tracks the light and not, how I don't exactly remember how the Oculus tracks, but it feels really good. It fits really good. I just got the Resident Evil 7 and messed around a little bit with that. And I found that I cannot play that in my house alone by myself because if the dog brushes up against my shin, I will scream like a child. Because all that game is just creepy ass hillbillies chasing you around the house. And if something touches your leg, you're gonna scream like a baby.
Right.
I don't care who you are. I got some great footage of my buddy Tyler playing the Rush of Blood demo, and he's a big dude, which I hate even saying out loud because that's all he wants to hear is how big he is. And there were a couple moments that got him. He was kicking his legs, and he got up a couple octaves. So I'm gonna hopefully post that here sometime in the near future.
I saw the clip, and like there was one point where he died, and he's just like, oh, there we go. And you're like, you're not done. You just died.
It's like, oh God.
So, oh no.
So I got, it comes with a demo disc, and it comes with this PlayStation VR Worlds, which has got a bunch of like little mini games. It's got the shark encounter demo that they brought all over the place when they were doing like E3 and GTX and all that kind of stuff. And the heist, which was another demo they showed a bunch of, which is actually really, really cool because it's like a 15-20 minute like experience, like a long demo where you have like car chases and shooting. And
it's a holodeck.
there is a Star Trek
Dream
game
Deck?
coming out. It's kind of like that, I guess. But the screen quality, like inside the the headset itself, not as nice, not as sharp as Oculus. But I think the main reason for that is so they could keep the price tag down to
Yeah.
build the user base because they couldn't.
But
Go ahead.
I hear there's no God rays, and that really drives me crazy on my Oculus.
There's no what?
God rays, like the light just shooting from everywhere. It might be a problem with my eyes, I don't know, but I see them pretty bad.
I don't remember having that problem when I was using it, but is that where the light's coming in like when you're
Yeah. I noticed it. I mean, it wasn't like terrible, but
yeah, and
it was
again,
noticeable.
yeah, no, the PlayStation VR is really good about blocking out the the surrounding light. And what's great is you can kind of dim the lights because it's tracking the light bar,
Right.
so it's not nearly as bad. But yeah, I mean,
I haven't tried this one yet.
yeah, we'll have to do that sometime soon.
I still hold the HTC Vive at the top of my list though.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to mess around with that.
You
sneak me into work?
I could try. I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna pull that off. I don't have access to that area.
Oh,
That's
no?
the one part of the entire building I don't have access to.
Oh, wow. Speaking of Oculus, really quickly, did you guys hear about the lawsuit, ZeniMax and Oculus? What's the guy's name that the suit they were going after? I can't remember his name.
Well, I
Ho-
think the two key players were John Carmack
Right.
and Lucky.
Yeah.
Those were the kind of the
Yep.
main witnesses that Lucky came from ZeniMax and so did Carmack.
Right. And they're basically saying they came pretty much straight out and said word for word, this guy's not smart enough to build the tech he's reportedly saying that he built. So they're saying that he took technology from them and even went so far as to saying he came back to like do a visit, to visit people he worked with and ended up taking more stuff with him when he left after that. And I know initially it was they wanted was it 4 billion, like 2 billion for damages and then 2 billion for punitive whatever. And I think the jury came down with a ruling in their favor for 500 million.
Yeah, that'll make me happy.
Yeah, but again, Facebook money, that's not a huge drop in the bucket. I mean, It's not 4 billion.
No, it's not 4 billion, but I don't know. I'm sure you you feel it.
Well, yeah, I'm sure Zuckerberg's not happy because it's so funny because it's so similar to the Facebook
Right.
thing. It's so
Right.
similar. But yeah, I heard about it when the lawsuit first started because this was, I think the ruling came out like a couple weeks ago, but I randomly came across an article about it today that I read and saw what it ended up being, the 500 million. I was like, yeah, and I don't know going forward, is that gonna hurt them from using the tech? Are they gonna have to kind of roll back and start over, or can they continue on as they had been?
I think what they primarily won on was like breach of contracts. I don't think it was anything to do with like patents, so I think they're safe.
Okay,
Although I may be wrong, I didn't really read much into it, but I think I remember that little detail.
right.
So it was more along the lines of, hey, you worked for us, you signed an NDA, and you broke it, so give us money.
Right. But yeah, what about you? Mike, anything over the holidays or over the new year that was more exciting than Mariah Carey falling on her face on live television?
Did I miss Mariah Carey fall on her face on live television?
New Year's
Apparently,
Eve,
you don't
she,
watch
like,
the New
ruined
Year's
her
Eve, New
career.
Year's Rocket
Oh.
Eve.
Yeah, okay, now I remember. I thought you meant like literally falling,
No,
not
that would
not
have been
just
way
screwing
funnier.
everything up.
That would have been way funnier.
Yeah, that would have. I got a new shift at work. That's about it.
Yeah.
I live a pretty boring life.
So you're not gonna
I did get
fall asleep
get
in your room this time in the
no,
dark.
not this time. I did buy my wife a new laptop, which we got a Dell 13-inch 2-in-1.
All right.
Those are really cool.
Yeah.
It's really weird to take a screen and just bend it backwards.
Yeah. Yeah, we have some of
But
those.
it's pretty handy.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I wouldn't know what I would use that for.
I was like always afraid that when you flip the screen backwards and as you're holding it,
You're hitting the
your
buttons in the
fingers
back?
touch the keys. No, when you do that, it disables the keyboard.
yeah.
Right.
Ah.
So it doesn't matter. Yeah, they're pretty neat.
I feel like it would be still too heavy to be just used as a tablet.
They're light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's super light. It's a 13.3 inch. It's
Mm.
only less than 2.5 pounds.
Oh wow.
And then, like what we do a lot with is we'll bend the screen back, and then we'll put the keys on the ground or on the floor or whatever, and then the screen's tilted up so we can watch movies.
Oh nice.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't know. Speaking of movies, I went and saw John Wick 2 last night with some buddies. Awesome movie.
I haven't seen John
I know
Wick.
Gordy has not seen John Wick 1. You need to go and see that because that was I didn't see it when it came out in theaters because it looked just like a generic action movie, but it's pretty freaking good. And the second one is just as good. I'd put the first one slightly above, but not much. It was a very good sequel.
I want to see that movie just based on that GIF of Keanu Reeves practicing. Have you seen that?
The one where he's flipping the dude? Or which one? I've seen a couple.
He's at a gun range with a shotgun and a pistol.
Oh, yeah.
Just going ham on targets.
Yeah. That's basically all the movie is. That's the action scenes are just him going, spot to spot to spot, taking dudes out left and right. It's pretty awesome.
I remembered something else that happened over break.
What's that?
Rogue One.
Rogue One, that's right. Oh wow, yeah. Jesus. We have been gone way too long.
About that. Yeah. Did you see that, Mike?
No, I'm not a Star Wars guy.
That's right.
I don't know why. You know what I need to do? I need to sit down and just watch all the movies.
That's what I had to do with him.
I had to do that.
We did it in one day. We watched all three of the old ones in one day.
One day.
In one sitting.
Yeah, I had only ever seen episode 4. And when we were first sitting down to talk about doing this, Heath's talking about how big of a Star Wars fan he is, and I'm like, I'm not. It's
And I
not for
pretty
lack
much
of
told
interest.
I pretty
it's
much told
just-
him I'm not doing this with him unless he watches the Star Wars
He's
movies.
like, oh, you're fired. Interview over. Yeah, no, I came over here on like a Sunday morning. It was probably afternoon.
That was early
And
enough.
yeah, we watched it was the original 3.
Right.
This was in
Episode 4 or 5.
preparation for episode 7. But I still haven't seen the episodes 1, 2, and 3.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. They're not extremely relevant.
I only know
to-
one person that claims episode 1, 2, and 3 were better than 4, 5, and 6.
Who is this person?
It's a friend of my dad's. I say I know him, but he's not on my Facebook anymore because
Of that reason alone
No.
should be why.
no, it is his political posts.
Oh, well, that too. I don't know what's more egregious. The fact that he thinks those are better or his political posts. They're both pretty bad. But yeah, we did it in one sitting and he is the better for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rogue One was amazing. I thought it was unbelievable. I didn't know how they were going to do a standalone. Yeah, we'll get there. The standalone, he just gasped at me because he just remembered. Didn't know how they were going to do a standalone Star Wars movie because they've always been, kind of leading somewhere.
Right.
But I thought it was great. And I know a lot of people kind of, the only negative thing I kept hearing, across the board was there's a character in the movie that's been, who's in the originals, the 3, 4, and 5, who passed away a long while ago. The Tarkin, General Tarkin.
Yep.
Or Grand Moff Tarkin. And they digitally did his face. Like, I thought it was going to be like a quick thing of him kind of off in the background, or you see a reflection of him up against the glass and he spoke, and I thought that was going to be it. But then they were like camera close up right on his face. And I thought it, for what it was, it looked really good. But I know a lot of people had like an uncanny valley issue
did the same
with it.
thing at the end.
But the Leia one was real quick.
Right.
And I thought that tugged at my heartstrings more, seeing her as a young woman.
Right.
Than the Tarkin thing, because he was already an old man.
It helps. I looked up the girl that played her in the film, the I guess body actor.
Sure.
And it's either Swedish or like Norwegian or Finnish or something, but she actually looks like young Carrie Fisher.
Oh, really?
And so I could actually see where like some tricky makeup could make her look exactly like her. But I guess it was actually digital.
Oh yeah, I definitely, yeah. I mean, when you see those two characters, at least for me, immediately they're digital.
Right.
I mean, at least I did. And it sounds like a lot of other people did as well, because that's one thing I kept hearing was there was too much Tarkin.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great. And
I know there were people that were upset about reusing of footage for Red.
Yeah, I wasn't upset
2,
about that.
Red 3.
Yeah. The X-Wing pilots.
Right.
I thought that was a cool
That was a nice
nod.
throwback.
It gave me goosebumps. I really liked that. I was a little upset they didn't include Porkins.
Yeah.
But I'll let that slide. But
Mike's over here like, yep, don't know.
That's fine. It was bound to happen eventually.
Oh, no, I was just going to say the closest thing I've ever gotten to an X-Wing is crashing my drone into your car.
That's true.
That happened over break too.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. That was pretty funny.
I saw that he showed me the damage.
Yeah.
A couple little rotor marks.
He was like, at first he's like, did it happen to the van? And I'm like, oh no, I actually would have been upset if it was the van. I don't own that yet.
So, I mean, if we're going to talk about a little bit about Rogue One, I guess we got to talk about the fact that Carrie Fisher passed away.
Yeah.
Just another swift kick in the nuts before 2016, shut its doors on us.
Yep.
That was just a shit year all around for
She wasn't the last one though.
No,
Her
and then
mom
her mother
was.
passed away
the
couple
next
days.
day.
Was it the
No,
next
no,
day?
it was. Was it?
I don't know.
I think it was the next day.
Yeah, but just was, that was not a good. I mean, there have been a lot of celebrity deaths that past year, and that one really kind of got me.
Yeah.
That one really got me because not to be gross, but as a young virile boy growing up watching Carrie Fisher and her slave bikini, which she like before anybody listens to this and thinks that's awful, she fully embraced that. I know there are a pocket of people out there who think that that is just the worst part of the Star Wars, you know, those movies is the fact that they felt the need to put her in that. But Carrie Fisher as a person, as an actress, owned that. She was never shy about it. She thought it was, she never understood why people hated on it.
Right.
Because she's like, I killed the person who was oppressing me. What more do you want? But yeah, that just sucked.
Yep.
And you wonder how much she still had to shoot on the remaining movies. I know they say that she's got a lot of
They say that the filming was wrapped.
right,
Um,
but you have to think
wasn't that the flight she was on her way back from?
maybe yeah.
Like they had wrapped shooting
I
and she
thought
was on her way back. Didn't they film in Ireland?
I don't remember.
I thought she was in England visiting her mother.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But you have to wonder because I mean, there's reshoots happen all the time, and so
Right.
there's that. But that maybe not necessary in her instance. But you have to think that the story going forward into episode 8 is gonna have to fundamentally change. If she's not, if she doesn't, if she's originally not doesn't die in episode 7, uh, she must play a pivotal role in episode 8. And you have to think, you know, there has to be a reunion with Luke, and if that doesn't happen in 7, how does that? And a lot of people.
You mean 8?
Oh yeah, sorry, 8 and 9. Sorry, that's
Right.
why. Yeah.
Right.
So a lot of people are talking about because of Rogue One digitally,
Yeah.
putting her in. But
They
I think
they showed look what we can do.
right, and I don't know. I don't know if I'd be. I mean, I'd be okay with it. It's not like I don't think it's
if it was-
disrespectful.
If it was to finish a movie that was already filmed
Right.
or that was already in progress, I can understand it.
Yeah.
Like Fast and the Furious.
Right.
That they did with Paul Walker. I still haven't seen that.
Yeah.
But I understand that they had to get kind of creative
Right.
in like how to finish the movie. In this case, I imagine there's going to be some alterations to the story. I would
Yeah.
hope there's some alterations to the story.
Yeah, and I mean, and don't get me wrong, I have every confidence in their ability to, work around this absolutely tragic event. But you're always gonna wonder what was the original plan. That's what I keep thinking about. What the original plan was. If it ever comes out that they actually changed anything, I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't think
I
we'll
don't know
ever
how
know.
forward they are going to be about revealing that information. But you have to think that things have changed pretty drastically, story wise. But we may know, we may never know.
Yeah.
But it just sucks. So I hope this
I
year,
agree.
we've so far.
It's
I
been
think
pretty
we've been
calm.
uneventful.
We're a month and a half in.
Right.
and,
Uneventful and celebrity death wise. Politically, it's been crazy. But that was to be
It hasn't
expected.
been nearly the amount or the caliber, like the
right.
the level that these
Yeah.
celebrities were.
Like at the what was it? The awards here recently, they do the in memoriam, and I was just like, oh man,
Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah.
because there's just so many that you forget about a few, and then it just kicks you in the teeth when you get reminded. But on that note,
On that note, Mike did bring up drones, and crashing it into my car. That was something that we got together over that break and made some films.
I saw a couple of them.
I'm thinking we should probably put those up on the YouTube.
Mm,
What do you think, Mike? You think those should see the light of day?
It's up to you because,
Not the traffic
well,
circle one. That I still have to
what
figure
are you
out how
talking,
to stabilize that one.
are you talking about the ultimate selfie?
Uh, yeah, or the football field.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. I thought the ultimate selfie was pretty neat,
Yeah, I
but
thought that was cool.
it's a little I'd be weary about posting it myself.
Yeah, that's a
That's why
good
we should
point.
go do it somewhere else.
Right,
That's a
that's what
really
I
good
was
point. I
thinking.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
We did that from my house. Good call.
Drone. I mean, there will be
I'm
drone
actually
videos to come, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm in contact with DJI trying to get my camera replaced since we found the weird focus issue.
Yeah.
It's really driving me crazy because I always knew something was off, but
Right.
that traffic circle video really highlighted where the focus was off.
Yeah. When we sharpened it and like the one side was over sharpened and the other side was still not quite sharp.
This is from the vibration, maybe?
No, no, ideally for that camera, the focus should be flat across the whole image. But if there was going to be any bias towards what part of the image should be the sharpest, it should be the middle.
Right.
And in this case, we hovered it over the traffic circle and just pointed straight down. And as we're looking, we noticed that like everything off to the right was in focus. Everything in the middle was kind of blurry, and everything to the left was like more blurry.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it shouldn't be like that at all.
Yeah, I actually learned something about the Phantom 3 camera, which is really interesting since you're a camera guy.
Mhm.
You know how you have the sensor and then the lens that goes right on top of the sensor?
Right.
Well, on the Phantom 3, the sensor is attached to the sensor board, which is screwed on by 4 screws.
Yeah.
And then the lens is attached to the body. So they're not linked up with each other, so the sensor can actually move ever so slightly around the mounting holes
Mhm.
and create the issue that I'm running into.
Mm.
So I probably just need to move it, but it's still under warranty, so I'll
Yeah,
let them deal
yeah.
with it.
You don't if it's under warranty, you don't need to be cracking it open and trying to move it yourself because that's how you avoid warranties. I'm all about
Yeah, I'm all
tinkering.
about voiding warranties.
I'm all about opening stuff up and tinkering and all that, but if it, I don't know. I kind of stand with the whole if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of thing. And I'll take something that's broken and try to figure out how it works to figure out how to fix it. But if it's under warranty, I'll just make them do it.
Yeah.
But I don't normally buy things that are new enough to be under warranty, so I don't I don't run into that problem.
Uh, so among other things that happened over break, the mid-season Walking Dead finale, which we never talked about,
No, we
which you
didn't.
kind of spoke on earlier. I rewatched it because my memory is for shit,
Mhm.
and I wanted to rewatch it before the new season started, or the new half of the season started up tonight. Um, just a couple of things that stood out to me of that episode is the fact that I totally lost my train of thought. Shit. Fuck.
I don't know where your train of thought was going, but um I can pick up on this. I know as Westworld was wrapping up, that really kind of took center stage for us. I know for me personally, I just really fell in love with everything about that show. And it made what used to be my favorite show, The Walking Dead, like take a pretty serious backseat.
Yeah.
Um, and I think where we talked about kind of getting stale on the whole thing and how it was almost like the same formula, just in kind of different situations but that they kept, it just seems like they kept following this same format. And I feel like the mid-season finale was pretty redeeming. maybe I don't know, maybe because that format is what they do best, and
Right.
as much as we hate it, it's the most effective way to tell the story that they need to tell of what's going on.
Well, I know the complaint over the last few seasons is the beginning of the season has been just so slow, like trudging,
Mhm.
right up into the mid-season, which I think this mid-season was kind of, it didn't leave a huge gaping hole. It was kind of okay. End of this chapter. Let's start the new chapter.
Yeah.
Um, but one thing I really thought was funny was the huge outcry about the violence of Glenn and Abraham getting the beat down, but I didn't hear jack shit about Spencer getting disemboweled in front of the entire group,
Gutted.
like
Like a
holding
fish.
his guts in his hand while Negan is cracking jokes over him. Didn't hear anything about, literally nothing
Yeah,
on
and they
social
actually
media.
showed that. Like, it's not like that was happening off screen
Right.
with sounds. No, they showed like the knife slicing across and all the guts pouring out.
Like
Twice.
holding his insides in his hands and then kind of falling over. I mean, it was pretty gruesome. I mean, to each his own. What
I would
does
think
it for
was
you or
more
what?
gruesome
That's what I was
than
thinking.
Glenn.
That's what I was
The
thinking.
only thing that made Glenn bad was the eye.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
that was
that eye.
The pop eye.
that was kind of an iconic panel in the comic. So you
I
could
know.
not do it without
I
the eye.
know. I was waiting for some kind of pun.
Right.
Eye
Right.
opening or
Right. Another thing that I was glad to see is Daryl escaped,
Yeah.
and Rick and the group ended up going to Hilltop,
Hilltop.
where Daryl apparently that's where he found himself, and Rick and Daryl's little like slow nod.
Found himself. Jesus brought him back.
Well, that's right. Jesus brought him back. That's right. That's right.
It's a funny.
Yeah.
Jesus brought him back.
Jesus, yeah.
Jesus
so
saves,
when
man.
the reunion of him and Rick, when they had their little like man nod and embraced, that got me. I missed it up a little bit.
Yeah. That whole reunion.
When Daryl cries, the world cries. I still stand by that.
We were rewatching that last night, and like the tears were flowing during that point for me. And my
Yeah.
wife was like, "You're such a baby." Do you do this when you guys watch together too? And
We
I'm like,
hold each
"No."
other. Yeah, we comfort one another.
I look away and think about other things and try to act tough.
Yeah.
I go to my happy place.
Right. So that was a cool moment for me. And then kind of things that were left up in the air was the fact that Eugene copped to producing the bullet that Rosita shot Lucille, which that was another cool moment.
Yeah.
And just really shitty luck for Rosita. The fact that he copped to making the bullet and then the Saviors took him, with them when they left. So that's kind of up in the air. We don't really know what's going on with him, but I can only assume, because Negan said he wanted to use him, so I'm only going to assume he's going to have him mass producing bullets for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else that stood out to you in that episode?
They killed or Daryl killed a fat guy for no reason.
For no reason.
That kind of.
There-
Yeah, he was like that dumb guy that always followed around
Oh, yeah.
Negan, but I feel like I feel like he didn't deserve it.
I
No,
mean,
he deserved it.
maybe
he
I'm alone.
was towing the company line there, so I feel like he probably deserved it, even though he was.
Well, that means I should die by a lot of people.
He was the one that and my wife pointed this out when we were watching. He was the one that ratted Daryl out the first time he tried to escape, wasn't he?
I
I don't remember.
don't know. He saw Daryl and then he was like, "Oh man, I'm not doing anything."
Yeah.
And then Daryl ran off. I don't think he ratted though.
Oh.
Oh, he beat him to death with a pipe.
The guy, yeah. No, the first time.
Oh, the first.
He saw Daryl, and then Daryl ran off, and I think he like alerted them or something, and
And then
he's like, "I'm not taking my chances."
we're left. The episode ends kind of with a lot of like the reunion at the hilltop and a lot of smiling and nodding at each other. And
Yeah.
I hate when episodes end like that, just silent. Yeah, we got. Yeah, okay, yeah. I don't. I mean, Walking Dead I love, but I hate when episodes end that way.
Well, to be fair, it didn't end that way.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm getting to. So they had like throughout the episode, little snippets of somebody spying
Yeah, the boots,
on them,
boots
the
across
boots
the lake.
and the hood, which may have gotten answered in this tonight's episode, which we'll
Maybe.
talk about. But overall, I thought the mid-season episode was really good. A strong episode. Hopefully, keeps that momentum going throughout the second half of the season, which is kind of what the formula they've been following the last couple seasons.
Right.
It's been kind of building and building and building, and then it ends on a cliffhanger that most people are pissed off about, or a lot of people are pissed off about. I wonder if we'll get that again, or if this will just wrap up the chapter and we'll start a new chapter.
I was joking with my wife. We were sitting there watching, and I'm like, "Yep, all they're gonna do is practice for this fight the entire season,
Right,
and then it's gonna start, and then boom, that's gonna be the end of the
right.
last
Negan
episode."
will be at the gates, and then it'll be next season.
No, it'll.
Because I mean, they can't kill Glenn again. They did that twice. They can't do that again. So
That's true.
they've beaten that dead horse. No pun
Who
intended.
could they kill now?
Oh,
Not really.
with the fight to come, it could be a lot of people. So let's go.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I realized that they still haven't told us where Heath is.
That's true. And
we know that if there's no body, there's no dead.
that's true. And we haven't seen the all women seaside group come back into play.
I think they. We'll get to that.
Okay.
We're still talking about the finale.
All right. All right. Well, let's go ahead and switch gears and jump over to tonight's episode. Premiere, second half of the season. Kind of a dick move on Gabriel right at the beginning. Just when I was thinking that I was starting to really like him, he was getting some moxie. He was starting to get a little bit of a backbone and actually contribute, or at least pretend to contribute, or pretend to like care.
Right.
But it leaves me wondering, because I know how television works, because I watch a lot of television. Are we meant to think that he is grabbing all of the goods and bailing?
I think so.
And because I kind of think maybe he's caching the supplies somewhere else, thinking he's helping.
I thought he was bailing until I saw the second person. And then I realized, there's got to be more to that.
Yeah.
He can't just be leaving.
Right. And so
when that second person popped up, it kind of freaked me out.
the second person. And
you guys missed it too? My wife missed it. We had to rewind it. When he's driving in the car, if you look really carefully at the passenger seat, someone sits up.
I did not see that.
I totally missed that.
How did you miss that?
The same way you did.
No, I caught it. My wife missed it. That's why we had to rewind it.
Oh,
No,
the same
totally
way she
missed
missed it.
Yeah, it's like so subtle, right?
I was probably too busy writing notes.
Right.
And he's driving off, and just as he's driving off, someone sits up in the passenger seat, I swear.
I'll have to rewatch that.
It was the camera guy, and that was a contingency error.
Yeah.
They would not have left
continuity.
something like that in there.
No, that's a good catch. No, I definitely didn't see that.
No. And so
Now you're gonna have to go rewatch it.
Yep.
yeah, definitely will. And so then we get to kind of Rick trying to rally the hilltop, and just, man, they are really hammering home how much of a dick
Gabriel? Gregory.
Gregory is.
Yeah, they are.
He
But that was so awesome, his little rant.
yeah.
Calling everybody by their
Their other name, their I don't give a shit about you name, even though he did call her
Marjorie.
Maggie, the the beginning of
Margaret?
What?
He called her like Margaret.
We
Or...
did, but in the mid-season finale at the end,
Oh yeah.
he called her by her real name. But yeah, now he's back to doing that. And then so that didn't go over very well for Rick, but who was it that
Oh yeah, Enid
kind
Enid
of
rallied the troops.
Yeah, went about herself and kind of got it didn't seem like very many people.
More than Gregory was
But
giving them.
yeah, I don't think the Hilltop's that big of a community to begin with. So they got a little bit out of it. But I don't know how effective the Hilltop people will be. Seeing as how they don't really know how to take care of themselves.
Right.
And then Jesus decides it's time for them to meet
King
Ezekiel, which I left this episode just upset that there weren't more people in this world so we could keep introducing people to King Ezekiel and Shiva specifically, just so we can watch their reaction when they're face to face with this tiger.
That was great too when they're
all in the doorway,
they're like, oh, and I should have told you. And Rick's like, yeah, tiger.
Yeah, tiger. Yeah, that was really good. I love Ezekiel, the character in the comics, in the show. The actor's doing a great job. He's just kind of selling the whole thing. And I wonder if there's ever going to come a time where he has the, breakdown moment where he's real, like he did with Carol.
Yeah.
Who is still alone but not alone. I won't presume to take credit for this. We did catch a little bit of the Talking Dead before we shut the television off, and Chris Hardwick had a brilliant line about Carol, who's still alone but still finds a way to threaten another child.
Yeah.
I just thought that was great because whatever his name is, Squire is what I think of him as. Gabriel, or the stick boy in training,
right?
Runs across her in the woods, and for someone who wants to be left alone, she sure does keep getting found an awful lot.
I know.
And where did she get that gun? Did she have that?
Probably. They never took her gun.
I guess that's true. And another thing when they were talking with Ezekiel is
I really liked Rick's Rockin' the Road story.
Yeah, that was really good too. And the fact that they had to tell, insert name here, that Abraham and Glenn died.
Morgan, yeah,
they had to tell Morgan to edit that part out. And the fact that they had to tell Morgan that Abraham and Glenn died because he didn't know that yet.
And Olivia. And they took Eugene.
Yeah.
And they took Daryl, but he got out.
And Spencer.
Yeah, screw Spencer.
Yeah, that's true. But again,
he's a twat.
But again, he was trying, at least what he told Rosita, he was trying to get on their good side so that maybe someday we can attack. So was him trying to throw Rick under the bus part of his plan?
No.
Or was that his real motive and he just lied to Rosita? Motive. Yeah.
Because in his eyes, Rick and his group came in and everyone started dying. It's all Rick's fault.
Right. That's true. What a dick. He deserved the disemboweling. Another thing we learned this episode is that Rosita is a bomb expert.
Yeah.
For some reason. I don't like the way these look. So that's interesting. And zombies are really bad at limbo. That's another thing that I learned. That was
awesome.
The whole slicing in half of the herd of zombies was...
The clothesline was the only thing I could think of to call it, but I don't know. I think the cheese slicer is a better...
Yeah, that's...
better.
That was a pretty ingenious way to go about taking out a whole herd of zombies. But yeah, so they got all those explosives, which can only help. And I guess my question is where they're hiding all of the weapons and the explosives and the other things that they're procuring to eventually fight them? Where are they
They're
hiding
gonna
it?
hide them inside the kingdom.
That's right. Yeah,
Well,
that's a good point.
when they got back to Alexandria, didn't Rick tell the gatekeeper, he's like, we left the truck back where we got it
Oh
from.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
that's
It's
right.
Whatnot.
safe. Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
safe.
That's
Yeah, so it's
and
outside Alexandria, but
yeah,
we don't know where.
and that's another thing about the kingdom. I didn't know if we knew this or not, that the actual residents of the kingdom don't know that they have a deal with the saviors. Only the guards.
They didn't spell it out for you last time,
Right.
but they sort of
They did this episode.
hinted. They sort of hinted at it
Yeah.
as far as why they went on the other side of the walls to make the drop,
Mm.
and
Yeah, I
when
think
they
that's a really interesting dynamic that could kind of blow up in his face
it almost
eventually.
seems like their deal. They didn't tell us what the deal was,
Right.
but for like Hilltop and for Alexandria, the agreement is they scavenge and give them half of their stuff, and they don't die. It almost sounds like the kingdom's deal is they farm for them. They don't have to give up half their stuff. They just have to
That's
give
true.
up.
Yeah, because they have weapons
Right.
but maybe that's because they don't know where the kingdom is. Do you think they know where the kingdom is? That's why they meet them somewhere else.
I don't know.
But
And also, the kingdom gets them meat, which I haven't seen any other group give.
Right.
that's true.
Even if it is
However
rot
tainted the
filled.
meat may be. So and now they have the long range radio, so they can kind of listen in
Yeah.
to get info, and they did overhear Negan's memorial to Fat
Joey.
Joey. So which is kind
Now
of
Skinny Joey is just Joey.
right. That was pretty funny. And so we talked a little bit about the spy that was following the
Yeah.
group around. And at the end of this episode, Rick and the gang get surrounded by this seemingly new posse of people that
Mhm.
there seem to be ever more expanding groups in this Walking Dead universe who seem to be very well coordinated and very well armed. And I loved the look on Rick's
The
face
smile on his face.
at the very end of the episode. And you kind of turned to me and was like, what the hell is he smiling for? He's like, because he found soldiers. He's not threatened. He just sees the potential of these people.
Right. I guess that's a good point. When you know what you're up against, and then you're surrounded by these people, you're like, these guys are. There's no way they could come anywhere close
To being as bad.
to being as bad as the saviors.
And more than likely they're
they
being
know about
oppressed
them.
by them too, or at least
Everybody
know
knows
about
the
them. Yeah.
saviors.
So I thought that was, I can't remember. I was thinking to myself, I can't remember the last time I saw Rick smile.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really awesome moment.
So yeah, they'll probably become soldiers.
I just want to know.
And, I mean,
go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say Rick was summoned there by Gabriel, so I don't think he should feel threatened.
Well, maybe. Rick was
Yeah,
going.
the
Rick was going to the boat,
notebook said boat.
and then they. Why did they end up in that construction site, which wasn't by the boat? Oh, they were following the tracks. They found the
Yeah.
boot tracks
Yeah.
of the
person who was spying on them.
and they were following the tracks. So he might have thought he was summoned there, but maybe they weren't.
Morgan or Gabriel's there.
At the,
I guarantee.
you think?
Well, I was
I
gonna
don't
say,
know for sure,
because
but
at
I'm just
the end of the mid-season, it was Gabriel who was on
yeah,
post.
Gabriel was on post, and there was
the person was
spy
out in the woods. So
Yep.
maybe the other person in the car is one of those people, or whoever the spy was, who said, "Hey, we've got these people. We'll help you if you give us some supplies, if you give us food."
Huh,
That could be it. But because I didn't see that person in the car, I didn't think of that until just now.
right.
Because the two of them
go
were
back
out
and
there.
watch it when we're done.
Yeah, the two of them
Now,
were out there at the same time. At the
What
end
I
of the
want to
mid-season.
know, because there's another group that is very well armed.
The sea shanty people.
Yeah. Now, going back to the novels, Oceanside is a presence there. They're a huge fishing community.
Right. But were they around during the Negan battle?
No.
I thought that was established
I
after
think they established him
because
after.
Ezekiel or
But they, in the show, it's very clear that they don't like the Saviors.
right.
But they're trying to stay completely reclusive. So I don't know. I'm curious. Tara's probably gonna
I was gonna
spill the
say
beans,
Tara's probably
and she's
gonna
gonna be like,
yeah.
there is a community out there that has a bunch of guns, but I'll probably die if I go visit them. I don't know.
Yeah. And we got to find out what happened to Heath, or at least I need to know what happened to Heath. My namesake.
Yeah,
I need to know what happened. There's not that many of us out there. We got to take care of each other.
we're gonna stick together.
Yeah. So, but yeah, overall, I thought the episode was great. I hope it keeps the momentum rolling. It doesn't like stagnate. Like, I don't think it will because second halves are usually been really good about that.
If they all start splitting off again, they still kind of are.
They have, because
We have a group at the hilltop,
yeah.
and we have the group back at Alexandria. We now have
Daryl
Eugene in the sanctuary. We have Daryl at the kingdom.
Yeah.
And
Daryl and Morgan at the kingdom, and Carol.
We have a loose end with Heath. We don't know what's going on there. How many episodes is that?
That's the thing. I feel like they need to, because the thing they were doing
finish
with
off
the
first,
first,
slowly,
right. The
leading up to
the
the big
first
fight.
part of the season was everybody split up, and then having a single episode about each group that was split. So there's one episode completely in the hilltop. We didn't know anything else that was going on anywhere else. I think they can still have all these groups of people, but keep them all in the same episode. There's a way to do that. It's a lot of plates to keep spinning, but they did that to themselves.
The way to do it is 90-minute episodes, and we've been seeing a
That's
lot more
true.
of those this season. too.
I'm curious as to how many more of those we're gonna get this season. I mean, a lot of shows are now that's just standard hour and a half.
Isn't that crazy that these TV shows are as long as some shorter feature films?
Yeah, like the what's another one? Taboo, the Taboo show that this series that's on FX right now.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't? Oh, it's
No.
really good. It's really good. But yeah, it's.
I feel like American Horror Story was the same way.
I think this was only an hour.
I just think it's
It was
awesome.
an hour,
that,
but a lot of
I mean, a season's like 5 movies. I think movie stars still get paid a lot more than TV stars do, but
Yeah, well, I'm sure the Walking Dead cast is getting up there.
oh yeah,
They're getting up to that, and I don't think anybody's gonna get up to that Friends money, but it's something to aspire to.
Charlie Sheen hit
Ugh,
a lot more than Friends money.
he doesn't count. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to seeing where the season ends up. But unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about, I think we're gonna wrap it up there.
Yeah, we're coming up on an hour.
All right. Hopefully, we will not be on hiatus again that long
Our show's back on.
for a while.
We got stuff to regularly
Yeah,
talk. We have a show to keep us accountable.
that's
I
very
think that
true.
was the problem. We
So
didn't
we
have
need,
anything
yeah,
to keep us
when Walking
accountable.
Dead ends, we need to find another show to hold us accountable.
I'm sure. When's House of Cards coming back? When's Silicon Valley coming back? What else is coming back?
That's true.
what's that Netflix show?
Black Mirror?
Black Mirror.
I've been watching it.
Yeah, he has been watching it.
I'm not completely caught up.
You watched it, right?
Yeah, I watched it all in like 2 days.
Yeah, okay, I did the
All
same thing.
3 seasons.
But
It's amazing.
at this point, I'm gonna have to watch them again if I'm gonna talk about them. So maybe we'll do an episode of that.
Although, I'm really afraid of a lot of that stuff coming true.
We'll have a lot of it.
A lot of it's not
We're not
that
going to get
far
too
off.
deep into it. A lot of it's happening now, and some of it's not that far off. But yeah, so yeah, preview for stuff to come. Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah, we could talk quite a bit about Black Mirror.
Yeah. So all right, well, we're gonna call it a night. Thanks for joining us, and if you want to catch more of the older episodes, you can find us on YouTube at Cross Platform XP.
XP?
We have a Facebook page as the same thing, and yeah, thanks for listening. And for me, that one Heath,
40 Mills.
we will catch you next time.